Hello, our final session, and I've had a special request to look at pitching. Okay, so we're going to do some exercises and things that will support you with that. Do a quick warm up to get ourselves ready. Keep our good practice in good practice, so all the rest of it. One. Brilliant. Lean to one side, breathe out all the air in your lungs. Deep breath in. Back to centre, lean to the other side, breathe out all the air in your lungs. Take a deep breath in. Back to centre, lean forwards, let your arms hang in front of you. Breathe out all the air in your lungs. Take a deep breath in, filling your lungs across your back. Back to centre slowly, breathing gently, bring your arms up your head. Breathe out gently. Lovely. Okay, imagine you've got a balloon in your hand. Deep breath in. Let the air out towards. Good. Okay, so we're going to get into our vocal bit. We're going to specifically focus today on pitching and how to develop good practice in terms of maintaining good pitch and pitching well when you're singing. So a couple of pointers. If we look at Wikipedia or wherever you might find your research and information, you'll find lots of different statistics about what the words tone deaf mean. Now, I think a lot of people think, oh, maybe I can't hear pitch, maybe I can't hear tone correctly. Apparently, less than 10%, some places it says less than 3% of the world's population is actually tone deaf. And that is like an inability of hearing pitch or hearing tone. So the majority of people have option of actually training themselves or training their oral ability, their hearing, to actually hear pitch and hear tone correctly. So that's the good news. I personally, having worked in tons of different schools and different places, I have worked with a couple of students who really had challenges with tone and pitching. In terms of their pitching, their tone, actually it does improve, and there are certain techniques that I've tried and tested with students that have helped them with their pitching. So it's about consistently supporting good tones, consistently correcting what you're doing and making sure that you're singing correctly. Sometimes it's just a subtle difference, but that subtle difference could be the difference between singing accurately or singing out of tune. And nobody wants to actually listen to that if it's off. So we need to think about that. It's a really good question. Thank you for raising it. So consistency, and you have to really want to work on this. It's one of those things you have to keep coming back to, keep correcting. It's good to work with a tutor or somebody who does hear well and ask them to help you in terms of where you're positioning. So what we need to do is think about what you're singing. If you know it's off, that's a good thing because you can correct it. Do you know if it's higher or lower? Last thing we need to do is make sure that you're actually hearing the note that you need to be singing. Okay, so if I start when we usually start with our vocal warm-ups and give you a go. Okay, now if you're hearing that note and singing go, okay, if you can sing that with me, try that, 2, 3. Go. Now I'm putting a little bit of vibrato on my voice now. That's naturally happening because it's slightly lower. Go. If we can sing it nice and straight. Now, if you're not quite hitting that note and you can hear that, do you know if you're higher or lower than that note? Okay, which is tricky. So if I was to sing ga, the note that I'm singing is higher than the note that I'm playing, so I can hear ga. And in terms of exercising my oral ability, I need to correct that note and sing a little bit lower. Okay, so what we need to do, ga, is literally slide our voice until ga, we're matching the note that's playing. So I'm singing ga, and hopefully hopefully you can hear that my voice matched up ga with that note that's playing. So let's just try ga, the next note in that arpeggio. Ga. So sing that with me. 2, 3. Ga. Nice and straight. So are you matching that note? If not, I want you to ask the question, are you higher or lower than the note that's playing? Now, if you can't tell, what you'll need to do is get a tutor or someone else that you know who sings really well to help you with that, and they can tell you if you're above or below the note. So wherever you are at the moment, ga, I want you to stay on that note until you line up your voice with that note. So I'm ga, I'm a little bit higher than that note. Ga, I can tell by listening that I need to be a little bit lower. So I'm going to just sing ga. And there I've matched up with the note that's playing. Okay, I hope you're following with this. We're going to try another note there. We're going to try the D. Okay, so I want you to sing ga, ga. Try and sing nice and straight. Ga. Good. Now if you can hear that you're not quite on that note, are you higher or lower than that note? Okay, now you've listened to that. If you can, we're going to try and correct that now. So ga. So wherever you are, if you're lower than that note, you need to travel up to it. So I'm going to start with a note lower. Ga. And literally, you can do that for as long as you like. If you've got access to a keyboard, I strongly recommend every so often grab a note, try and sing it. Don't go crazy high, don't go crazy low. What we tend to do is stick between the G below middle C. Hopefully you know middle C. Middle C is where the 2 black notes in the very middle of the keyboard. There's 2 black notes, and it's the white note just below those 2 black notes. Again, if in doubt, ask your tutor. They should be able to help you, or Google it. That's always helpful. Right, so middle C. So G below middle C, or F, the second F above. Okay, so you can go anywhere between those two. Should be safe. You won't be over exerting yourself. So I'm going to grab another note between that range. La. Okay, nice middly one. So la. Are you singing that note? If you are, amazing. Give yourself a pat on the back. If not, are you above or below that note? So I'm going to just grab a note. La. I know that's way off, so I'm going to, and I know it's below. La. Okay. Hopefully you're hearing that. If you're struggling to tell if you're higher or lower than the note that's being sung, I cannot recommend strongly enough getting someone else to come and help you. So someone else that can sing confidently alongside you. So let's grab another one. La. Try that. La. Now, are you singing that note correctly? Are you too high or are you too low? La. So I'm going to grab a note that's a bit too high. So I'm singing this la. So what I need to do is slide down onto that note. La. Okay. So again, this is an exercise that you can repeat and do for as long as you like, until you land on those notes. What you will be doing in doing that is developing muscle memory. So that muscle memory, hopefully your voice will naturally begin to divert. Also, you will naturally orally pick up where you sit vocally and where you need to go. A little trick, if you're starting particularly high in a piece of music, some people struggle and you sort of feel like you need to take a big run up to these high notes. try and imagine you're already above that high note, okay, and sing down onto it. So maybe I'm starting a song with la. I'm trying to think something that starts ding dong merrily on high la. So I don't want to start la. So I'm slightly above that note already. La la. So if I imagine in my head la. So you're starting la, ding dong merrily on high, in heaven the bells are ringing. So it's just giving you a kind of position to start off with. Do you remember we talked about singing down onto those high notes? So you're already positioning yourself into the optimum place to actually support and control that note there, which is absolutely fab. Okay, I hope that was handy and useful. There are other tips as well that I'd like to give you, one of which I cannot recommend strongly enough. Joining a choir. If you can sing with a group of people regularly who sing accurately, stand next to someone who's confident and sings well and listen to them. Make sure that your voice is matching what they're singing. Likewise, there's not always the opportunity to join a choir. If that's not the case, then why not listen to some of your favourite singers, sing along with them. Make sure you're listening, your voice is matching what they're singing. I grew up singing in choirs and I found that really, really helpful. Standing alongside a group of people who are all singing the same part as me, another group singing a different part, but I'm singing with my singers. We had a load of male singers that would stand behind us as kids. We were like soprano parts, we were singing the high cantorian descant parts. And those parts would have to be sung really confidently and boldly, with the men stood behind us singing separate alto, tenor, and bass parts in the back of your ear. And you kind of have to get used to honing in to listening to that specific voice that you need. So it's a really good idea to stand next to someone who's really confident. The other thing that really helps if you're singing melodies and patterns is to actually get familiar with reading the sheet music. And looking at the pattern of where you're going. Are you going higher and lower with the melody? And that can help you to visualize where your voice is going. Working on a piano is really helpful as well, because you can see as you're traveling upwards, as you're going up. So you know naturally that you're progressing upwards to go up and down, making sure that your note matches, making sure that it sits comfortably, and spend as much time as you can just listening and supporting that, practicing alongside accurate melodies. Really, really key. So I hope that was handy and helpful. God bless you. Take care.